type of phosphorus fertilizer out of 4 of the major fertilizers that are sold on the market today is known as triple superphosphate. It's also known as monocalcium phosphate because it has one calcium ion in relation to 2 orthophosphates. You can see that in the chemical composition at the top right-hand corner. So how is this made? It's really interesting how this product is made. In fact, all phosphorus inorganic fertilizers are made using rock phosphate. And triple superphosphate, or also known as monocalcium phosphate, is no exception. So before I go through the remainder of the bullet points on this slide, why don't I share with you how this is made, because it's really, really interesting. So follow this arrow down here. Here's rock phosphate, calcium phosphate, likely some type of apatite. It is in the process, well, let me take a step back. Calcium phosphate or rock phosphate in and of itself is highly insoluble in soils. You could crush this to a powder and it likely won't react in our soils. And why? It's because we mine this from areas where the formation is highly insoluble. So we know this. And as humans, we figured out ways to overcome the insolubility of hydroxyapatite or rock phosphate. In this case, in order to make monocalcium phosphate, we take rock phosphate, crush it, and combine it with sulfuric acid. And when we do this, we form phosphoric acid plus calcium sulfate. So H2SO4 likely comes from or is a byproduct from the oil and gas industry. And so we can take that product and react it with rock phosphate to form phosphoric acid, which is carried forward, and calcium sulfate. Now, calcium sulfate doesn't go to waste. This is gypsum board. There's another industry right here. But how do we make monocalcium phosphate or triple superphosphate? We take the phosphoric acid and we react rock phosphate, but in this case with phosphoric acid. Interesting. We take a product that was created by reacting rock phosphate with something, and we use that product, in this case phosphoric acid, to react with rock phosphate. And when we do this, we form triple superphosphate. That's what is presented here on the far right. Now, triple superphosphate, how is phosphorus released from this material? Triple superphosphate is relatively soluble, and it can react with water to form calcium phosphate plus a free hydrogen ion plus a free orthophosphate, H2PO4. And in fact, CHPO4 can likely dissociate depending on the soil pH and release another orthophosphate. Interesting. Very interesting. So this is also known as monocalcium phosphate. It has a guarantee of 0.460, again, based on the molecular weights of how much phosphorus is present as compared to how much is the molecular weight of calcium phosphate itself. So it's a molecular weight of phosphate divided by the molecular weight of calcium phosphate multiplied by 100. The availability of this product is relatively limited because of the popularity of the other ammonium phosphate fertilizers that we sell in bulk. And why is that? It's because more often than not, nitrogen is limiting. Probably next is phosphorus. Calcium, yeah, sometimes it's limiting, sometimes it's not, depends on where you're located on the face of the globe. But nitrogen tends to be king, and phosphorus tends to be a close second in terms of deficiencies or limitations in soils. And so it's more attractive to apply monoammonium phosphate, diammonium phosphate, or ammonium polyphosphate as compared to triple superphosphate. This product currently is primarily used in horticulture and greenhouse industries.